very much. I think this is one of the last panels, so I have to make sure that everybody is up. And I'm trying to make it short and simple, but the subject, as you know, the subject is a very important subject. It is currently a topic, the top, everywhere in the world we're talking about AI, digital assets, innovation, and topic is each team finding the future in global growth. I think AI is one of those two levels that I think everybody is incorporating in their businesses, one way or the other. This session we try to explore how the Eastern world is rapidly shaping the new era of global economic transformation through artificial intelligence, digital assets, and breakthrough innovation, which will leaders globally and investors and technology pioneers and working day and night, how AI has been defining industries in different environments and different digital assets are unlocking new financial ecosystems, which is very important in how the issue is positioning itself as a driving force. So we have a great panel here with the experts in different areas. So before I start, I just want everyone to please kindly introduce yourself in a minute and tell me what you're doing, please.
My name is Saloi. I'm head of XDC Enterprise Alliance and Ventures. I'm also a global ambassador for Women in AI and the Good Dollar, which is a philanthropic initiative on blockchain. So I've been working the last 20 years on tokenization of real-world assets, DeFi, and also all the digital asset space and anything that has to do with local engagement with regulators.
Hello, my name is Ray Burns. I'm from Stars on Board. We do music, entertainment, for live tools for various businesses, basically. Recently, we're planning to launch a coin in the entertainment business.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to thank our organizers, Adams Network and Dr. Tariq and the team for hosting us today. We are the last panel, so we hope we'll be the last but not the least. Dr. Malik, Dzirlo, coming from US, 30 years of corporate American experience, ex-partner with Deloitte and McKinsey PwC, advising companies on real-world assets, tokenization, artificial intelligence, and helping companies achieve growth in the quickest manner possible. So, pleasure to be here and looking forward to the discussion.
My name is Anna, and I was with TheBlock. I'd like to thank you so much, Dr. Tariq, for this invitation. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. I'm a strategy partnerships and senior business development at TheBlock. So, TheBlock is a hub of virtual assets. So, we help companies to grow, and I work here in Dubai at the intersection of Web3, of strategic capital, and regulation. So we help tokenized ventures to scale through licensing, through access to trusted networks, to family offices, to venture capitals, and as well trusted ecosystems.
Thank you very much, each panelist, for introducing yourself. Let me start with you. The first question that you say AI. So how do you see AI adoption in the East and moving from in the West? How do you see AI as moving into the West?
I think it needs to be, AI itself is technology that is agnostic. It's whatever people do with it. So when it comes to regulation, there are some countries that are more or less, I would say, more liberal in a way, and some that are very conservative. So we've seen different moves in France, for instance, last summer, when it comes to establish like a more conservative approach, but collaborating with more countries. I would say here in the Middle East, I see a lot of startups and embedding of technology in the digital asset space, tokenization of AI. But we still need to look at how we're doing this. Is it in a safe way or not? It's still a big question.
Thank you very much. I'll move to Anna now. If I can ask you a question, that how can the regulated digital assets ecosystem, like those emerging in Dubai, help bridge the gap between the traditional capital and Web3 innovation?
It's a very interesting question, and I completely agree with Saloi and what she just said before. So definitely through regulations, and regulatory part should be the most important one here. So definitely VARA and ADGM helps a lot. So VARA is Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, the main entity who guides startups, founders, how they should start their journey. So lastly, they created certain frameworks, legal frameworks, which are very important. So we have certain licenses that helps startups to build. So for example, we have issuance license, if they would like to issue a project like real estate organization project. If they would like to build exchange, we have exchange license. If they would like to trade as a founder, a trading license. So we have several categories of the licensing created, tailored, basically for the founders to make their life easier. And innovation without regulation just can't exist. It stays in the sandbox.
Yeah, I just want to say I agree with that. And that's the reason why we are opening an office in Abu Dhabi, actually, in ADGM, to have our, as a layer one blockchain, have obviously different works, all the company startups building on ACC, and to allow them to develop in a safe environment. We are partnering with EGGM so that they can have a sandbox environment where they can choose slowly, which license they go for. Because what we've noticed is that a lot of the founders, they start a project, they even invest in MVPs, but then they wait on license.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's a facilitator.
Exactly. So definitely licensing part should be the first we start, then an app, because licensing will allow you to scale the project, which is the most important.
Okay, I want to keep it more interaction, but any panelists want to make any comments on any of these questions, please jump in,
Like my co-panelists mentioned, the key is to pass the proper regulation that's gonna attract the institutional capital. Attraction of institutional capital in the space is the key. So without the regulation passing, the RWAs being legal in the region, that basically is attracting institutional capital. Once regulation is passed, then the proper banking and the tier one institutions are making the moves, and then retail customers will come in. So that's kind of the natural flow of things. US is in the process of passing their regulations with the SEC. European Union is very close to passing RWAs, and UAE actually is ahead of everyone at the moment with RWA clearly defined. Singapore is next, so we're going to see entire world passing more or less very similar regulations around tokenization, real-world asset tokenization. So if you list a token in America or Europe or here, UAE or Singapore, you'll be able to trade them in all the jurisdictions equally. And that's basically the dream. And we are slowly getting there.
Good. You're right. Let me ask Ray that you are involved in crypto and different finance also in this industry. If I ask you, let's say the big sectors of fintech, healthcare, or green energy, nutrition, are leading innovation where you have right now.
Thank you for the question. It's really interesting. I think if you see in the US, it's now growing a lot of VCs investing heavily in AI and healthcare. Healthcare is booming, even in the Middle East. I was on a call a few days ago with someone in Saudi. They're investing like billions, not hundreds of billions of dollars in AI for hospitals to reduce patients' time, increasing efficiency, accuracy in medical pharmacies, etc. I think the AI is growing crazy in the healthcare industry. And crypto, everybody knows, it's been there for a long time. It's growing, it's still there, it's still growing. I think one of the best things you can do right now is getting on the way. The website now, AI and crypto. Everything else is very stable economics. So AI and crypto is going to be there, I think, at least for the next maybe 7 to 10 years at least.
Yeah, I think we have a lot to see.
If I just may add to that, right now the all 15 industries, whether they're in healthcare, commodities, entertainment, everyone is basically racing to tag on this train of urbanization. And a number of companies in the region right now focus in real estate, right? Because that's gonna attract additional capital, tokenization of real estate and apartments and villas, etc. The second wave is the tokenization of commodities. And here in the audience, for example, we have U Plus and SA Global as one of the cutting edge companies who are going to be the first to tokenize fertilizers, for example, being the Amazon of fertilizers. And other companies are in gold and commodities, etc. So if you are not actively working on this, you're going to miss out. And if you start working on that next year, it's going to be too late. So you have to be doing something around this if you want to stay competitive.
Right, very right. Let me go back to you. I raised a question because I run a CEO club, so I created one question. From a business perspective, what are the most practical applications for AI for CEOs and investors right now?
I think it has to do with first of all, the data. A lot of people building and developing for instance, on the digital asset space or any other space, they have to take into consideration ethics. Where is the data coming from? That's one thing. And also, how is it stored? And we've been talking a lot about AI hallucination, and I think one way to actually safeguard the direction of this is to have a layer on blockchain where data, the initial set of data is safe because it's immutable. And so if you can always go back to the source and check whether your LLM has done the right job. And also you can compare data sets and know where it's actually originating from.
I think the word data is very important. I think everywhere in the world is making so many data centers, especially I think Louis also have planned to make a lot of data centers in Abu different and the major players. And I see USA is one of the major businesses there. Let me ask Dr. Malik, you are advisor to the White Blockchain Center here in Dubai. What are the biggest challenges for businesses adopting blockchain or digital assets?
Some of the biggest challenges when it comes to adopting blockchain, first for businesses, is just like our general awareness. Many businesses are still, I would say, illiterate when it comes to understanding of blockchain, tokenization, etc. So that's the first barrier, increasing the awareness of emerging technologies, being tech savvy, having basic understanding of blockchain and tokenization, etc. The good news is that problem is easy to fix. With proper training, all the businesses should have basic understanding of blockchain and tokenization, how it can impact their industry. Second, understanding of artificial intelligence, because now we are seeing the merging of blockchain and AI. So if you just focus on blockchain, you ignore AI, you're going to miss out. If you just focus on AI as a business, ignore blockchain, you're going to miss out. So the best-in-class companies are doing both. First, they're getting smart, educated on adoption of AI and blockchain, and then they see how they can actually team up with the best players in the industry to develop best products and services. And what also we are seeing on all the conferences, whether all the tokenization conferences or AI conferences, there's really merging of these two fields. And the companies are right now actively teaming up versus competing. So we're going to see a new trend of companies that are really partners in the ecosystem rather than competitors. But that's the basically secret sauce to win. And we have lots of companies also here in the audience. I mentioned a few, SA Global, U Plus, we have TokenVest, leader in the tokenization in the region. We also have Minded, that are leaders in AI and emerging technologies and consumer electronics, all inventing innovative products, all actively actually teaming with other partners to create something better in the ecosystem. So key line is to summarize, increase awareness around blockchain, increase awareness around AI, and then collaborate, don't compete. Those are some of the success factors, successful companies.
I couldn't agree more. Because I've seen this in trade finance, where I was on the panel and I was asked, how is it competing blockchain and AI? And I was saying actually it's complementary and it's going to be creating symbiosis and creating more goods. For instance, if you have an invoice, financial instrument set on blockchain and you're transferring it, you can, thanks to AI, scan the information quicker and actually decide whether this is a red flag, is there anything AML or KYC compliance, and you will save $1,000 of work. So for me, they're not competing, they're usually competing each other. Sometimes it makes more sense to use blockchain, and some instances it makes more sense to use AI. So it has to do also how it's attached to the use case.
Right, and thank you very much. Let me ask you, Anna, what are some of the hidden opportunities in the digital assets space that digital investors might be overlooking, and how can a platform like TheBlock make them visible?
So I understand very well trade finance and coming from there, so it's easier for me. And I completely understand that even until today, I see the blockchain projects as a high risk projects, and maybe as well not all structurized. So as Dr. Malik was so kind to you to say, it's very important to build like awareness that nowadays real world assets market is worth like 1 billion AUM. It's a huge market. And entering this market, you getting access to the deal flow you probably will not get like on the public channels. So definitely I see a lot of opportunities, a lot of deal flow, and I see as well a lot of interest coming from institutional capital. It's definitely worth it to see this deal flow access.
Any comments from any other panelists? Okay, I think that's okay. Thank you. Let me ask the last question I want to ask for each one of you. Again, I say that I am a CEO plus. So if you want to give one piece of advice to CEOs looking at expansion into this future world, what would be?
For me, is to look at it from an ecosystem point of view, not look at it from a silo, I'm competing with the rest of the world. I think it has to do with interoperability, and also this liquidity needs to be coming from one place to the other. So just for instance, an example from our side, we integrated with the USDC protocol, which is the cross-chain transfer protocol, to make sure that in the global trade that we're covering, liquidity can flow easily from Europe, for instance, to the US and vice versa, or to here, giving reliable partners and also working on different verticals. For instance, we got an ETP listed on Euronext thanks to the data compliance paper that we worked on. So I think it's about creating an ecosystem where all the players can work together, not against each other.
Thank you, Ray. Any comment on CEOs and what they should do?
Yeah, I don't think they would like this advice. I think as a CEO, your number one advice I can give you is take care of your stuff. Really, really important. Take care of your stuff, then take care of your business. Everything else will come in place. I don't know how many CEOs will do that.
I want to echo my fellow panelists said, as a CEO, as everyone in the room is a leader, CEO simply means you are a leader. And spending my career in the US, 30 years with the top American companies, where they have done really well, is they are grooming their CEOs to be true leaders. And how they do that is they provide active mentorship to the junior staff until they become leaders. And then they have that mentality that if you want to be next line leader, whether it's a company or within the industry, you have to be with your peer group. What does it mean? If, for example, you are a $10 million revenue company or $100 million revenue company, and you want to be a $1 billion revenue company, you have to rub shoulders with the $1 billion company CEOs to adopt that mentality. And sometimes they kind of miss out that. So with the fellow CEOs, I'm just advising myself and everyone, spend time in that reference group that you aspire to be with. So that's really the key of growth. And CEO Club is doing an amazing job with all of that. Many thanks to Dr. Tariq, Adams Network, providing a safe environment to the CEOs globally to interact, to grow, to learn from each other. Because when we were all at some point employees, our bosses used to tell us good job, right? And we liked that. But once you become CEO, once you become leader, there's no one around to tell you good job because you are. So people are going to tell you good job are your reference group, your friends, fellow CEOs. So we need to help each other to get that boost of energy when we feel down to continue growing.
Thank you.
Be brave. Not to be afraid to get for your dreams, but as well to be aware what you want to do, how you want to do it, where you want to do it, and which way. And here again, I will say that to make it licensed, not structured, is the key point.
Thank you. With technology and this AI and blockchain, and so many new things are happening that we have to watch for the future. My only advice to all the CEOs and the leaders and entrepreneurs is don't work for tomorrow, work for day after. Because the technology is moving very fast, and we have to keep it. Look at what happened in ChatGPT last year. Every way that our way of daily business or daily correspondence has been changed. So I'd like to thank you all distinguished panelists and all of you who are part of this conversation. As we have heard today on artificial intelligence, digital asset innovation, and different ways they are the economy, reshaping the economies, they are defining the future of growth. Let's carry these insight forward as we build bridges between each investors. Today, and I'd like to thank each one of you panelists for your valuable time. And I hope the audience enjoyed the short discussion we had. So you have a rest of the day, a great day, and thank you for coming and thank you for listening. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.